That's who's gonna respond to you. It ain't gonna be nature. The devil don't care about nature. It hate nature. Do the research and see what be revealed to you. And then reciprocate that to somebody else, and then you will receive some true reverence coming from the self. And others will start to recognize you based on you refusing to accept this crap. But as long as you keep accepting this crap, you might as well just join the devil. Just say, hey man, I'm a fucking demonic force, and I want to see my people destroyed. I feel a lot better dealing with your ass. Don't try to put on some sheep clothing and act like you a fucking lamb. You a damn coyote. In this great damn time called noontime rape. Something else we need to start looking at too is this sports. Putting too much time into this sports. Putting too much time into music. We putting too much time and energy into fashion. And we're putting too much time and energy into media. Also, we're putting too much time into religion. We're putting too much time into lunar astrology. Lunar astrology. And all of these things identify with false awareness. And false awareness is equal to repelling you repelling from the self. You're repelling from the self. You're not even dealing with the self. You're dealing with the false awareness. You're dealing with the false awareness. And so when you wake up on Sundays, you say, hey, let's hurry up and get to the store. I want to be back before the pregame come on and start watching what they got to say about the sports on Sunday, which is football. And when it's basketball season, it's basketball. And when it's baseball season, it's baseball. For us brothers and sisters, we don't really prescribe to hockey because it don't identify with us. There's not enough of us in a majority for us to identify with that. Music. I could go on and on and on all day about the music, because a lot of it is a bunch of crap. I ain't seen nobody outside of Ryan Leslie and India Ari that's even playing their own acoustic instrument. Fashion. We know Paris and France, which is the home of the seat of these homosexuals, they control the fashion industry. And all of these things keep us in a false awareness. The media, as I said before, CBS, NBC, ABC, TBS, PBS, what's another one? TNT, CNN, HLN, CNBC, Fox News, Fox Network. All of that mess is a bunch of crap. Stop giving it your awareness, because it's a false awareness that is giving you back. That's the way it's responding to you, is giving you a false awareness. And it's repelling itself. Religion. Then you got lunar astrology. People always say, hey, Dr. Ray, what's your sign, Dr. Ray? And just for the record, for all y'all that's stuck in that physical mind of that bullshit, I'm a Scorpio. It's the 8th sign of the zodiac. but it's in the 11th month of the year. That is a false awareness. It's a false awareness. And it's lowering your vibrational frequency rate. You don't even know what time it is. Really, I'm all 12 of them signs plus 1. That's the 13 points of light. Based on the foundation of the number 4. Which will give you completion. Which will give you the self. And those 4 minds and them 4 bodies that are activated in the self. Y'all got to start waking up and getting this stuff. Because this self-awareness is going up against the false awareness in this great day and time. And we're not dealing with no more falsehoods. It's too much technology to deal with this false crap. I don't feel sorry for your black ass. I don't have sympathy for you. Because now someone has to start focusing on the children and making sure that they repel against this stuff. That they refuse this false awareness. That they recognize this false awareness. And they give reverence to self first. Then they reciprocate this to others. As things are revealed to them. Based on their research. Based on nature responding to them and them responding to nature. Which we call using. You got using. Or as I call, you sing. And you sing a song to nature. And nature sings a song back to you. This is called harmony. And when you're doing this, when you have a majority of people doing this, or a population of people singing a song to nature, we are harmonizing. And that harmonic frequency is lowering that demonic frequency, and it's hushing down the physical mind and got us operating in our spiritual mind as one mind. We have to start becoming one. We're going to have to stop prescribing to this new world order crap. We're going to have to stop prescribing to the Illuminati crap. We're going to have to stop prescribing to this religious crap in the media, in the fashion, in the music, in the sports, in the lunar astrology, in the Buddha, in the Krishna. That stuff don't identify with you. Start identifying what identifies with you. I'm not saying don't prescribe to nobody else's stuff, but stop giving it more attention than you're giving self. For your mother's sake and for your father's sake. Make them feel proud that they even had you. And start making yourself aware of them. Start worshiping yourself first. Because until you worship yourself first, you're not going to have no perception or reality. Because reality is inside of you. It's not outside of you. All of that stuff outside of you is an illusion. And nature will tell you that. But you got to make yourself aware of nature. And nature will make itself aware of you. Just like when you put an atom under a microscope, it don't even know that it exists until you're aware that it exists. And then it knows it exists. And it knows you exist because it's inside of you. And you are inside of it. This is called mental knowledge. And when we start dealing with mental and spiritual capacities, you have to start to excuse the physical mind from the conversation. And you got a why and a why not for his ass. Because you didn't master physical. That's why you came to the physical plane in the first place, was to master physical. You have to master self on this physical plane in order to appropriately leave it and not look behind and want to go back to it. That's why they have a judgment hall set up in ancient Egypt. They show you the Egyptian rite of passage into the spiritual world, or what they call the underworld. And they had to take your heart and weigh it on a scale called Ma'at, which is one of our ancient Egyptian deities, who is a woman. And she places your heart on one end of the scale, and she places a feather on the other end of the scale. And if that feather is not heavier than your heart, then your soul will be devoured by a pep. That's A-P-E-P, a pep. And a pep is half lion He's part lion, part crocodile, and part hippopotamus. And he will devour your ass. Based on your physical mind state. Now, if you're thinking that you're more human, you're more in tune with your human self than your spiritual self, then guess what? Your heart is a physical heart. It's a human heart. When you put a human heart up against a feather, it's going to outweigh that feather every time. But a spiritual heart is not a physical heart. It predates the physical dimension. And since it predates the physical dimension, it doesn't sum up to something. It's light as a feather. And when you put that spiritual heart, you follow that? Because now you done mastered the physical. So now you don't even have a physical heart. Now your heart is spiritual. Now you have a spiritual heart. You put the spiritual heart on the scales of my eye. The feather is going to be heavy. It's going to be like a center block compared to your spiritual heart. And Tahuti is right there to record all of this. These are your ancient ancestors that exist in your blood. And they actually exist. And they call your ancient ancestors a myth. And say, oh, this is just myth and theory. Because they copied your gods, your deities, your mothers and fathers. And said, hey, we stole this from y'all. We just going to call it a myth. That's what the Greeks did. And when you're saying that word, Jesus, it's a derivative of two words. And that's Jah, or which is Yah, and Zeus. Look at the picture of Zeus and tell me you don't see Jesus in that picture with the little beard and all of that. Jah, Zeus. That's who you worshiping. And Tahuti right there recording everything that go down. He's the grand recorder, the deity of time and measurement, with no beginning or end. He sets the foundation for what is what. Be and let be. I am who I am. That's all it is. So once they put that heart on the scale and you overtake that, then you will have a rite of passage. You will have a rite of passage into the spiritual world. This is your ancient Egyptian story. These are our customs. This is part of our culture. It's part of our science, our math, our history. Do the research. Do the research. Start taking some time to find out about the beings that make up the blood of who you are. Because most of y'all, because a lot of y'all, religious folks, know more about that religion than you know about your own black history. And they got your people rolling over in their damn grave. And all y'all mothers and fathers and grandmothers and grandfathers, stop acting like your ass got some fucking answers. You know you don't know shit. If you know you don't know shit, tell your child that. And stop gassing them up with your physical mind like you got some damn divine answer. You ain't got shit. You just a good slave. You ain't even a great slave. Because if you was, you'd be Nat Turner. You'd be trying to kick ass. A lot of y'all, if slavery was still going on right now, a lot of y'all be house niggas.